Hey everyone, welcome back to Pokémon Insurgence. I hope everybody is staying happy, healthy, and safe. On the last part, we took out the entire Abyssal Cult, and then we proceeded to come back here to Kepler City, welcome as heroes, and we took care of Anastasia for our 5th gym badge. So after that, we saw that Taen was heading here into Anastasia's workshop, which is beneath her gym. And I think we should probably go check it out. In fact, you kind of have to. You see these NPCs over here? Yeah, they're blocking your way out of the city. Did you see those folk going down to Anastasia's workshop? Look like cultist goons. I don't know how to do that. I feel like it's some sort of hillbilly accent or something like that. Someone's probably not gonna like that. But these two NPCs will sit here blocking the way out and talk about it as if they know that you're supposed to go there and handle it. I mean, how do they know that? I could be some innocent bystander that just wants to get out of town before the cultists do something reckless. So anyways, I changed out the Typhlosion for Delta Ludicolo here. Today is going to be Delta Ludicolo's day. It actually got an update to its moveset as well. So it now has Surf instead of, I think it was Psyshock. So that's pretty good. Mainly because we have the HM now, so we can actually give it somewhat of a moveset. I also gave Snorlax Bulk Up. I forgot that I had that. I completely forgot that I had the TM for it, and for some reason I didn't even think that Snorlax learned it. It does, so it's a lot better than even Curse, honestly. But I also didn't show this off, but we have the Book of Leaves here, and we can actually change the way that Snorlax looks with it. So if we use the Book of Leaves on Snorlax, depending on which pages we have, we can change exactly how Snorlax looks. So you can see right there, it's in its autumn form, and if I change it here, that should be the spring form, and if I change it here, I'm not sure what form that actually is. Oh, that's the same one, actually. That's probably the spring form, actually. So that's actually pretty cool. I think I like the autumn form best. Also, we are actually missing 2 pages from the Book of Leaves. However, one of them we won't get until the post-game, and one of them we're not going to get until probably around the 8th gym badge. I think it's around there. Either way, I've talked enough. Let's head on in to the workshop here and see what's going on. Alright, Tane, your commission is done. I'm wiping my hands of it. I don't want to be involved with this creepy cult stuff anymore. 1 million Pokédollars has been wired to your Pokébank account, as agreed. That was our end. Now show me the suit I paid for. Very well. The armor has been made to your exact specifications. It'll increase the defensive stats of a Pokemon that wears it. I did a bit of research. The only Pokemon that fits your measurements is, well, Zekrom. Harmony told me that you had Kyurem back in the Suntouch City gym. Do you honestly expect me to believe that you have Zekrom too? I really don't care if you believe it. The truth is the truth. Great work. The armor looks sturdy and functional. Incredible! I've heard stories about Zekrom, but I never thought I'd see it myself. How is it you've caught 2 legendary Pokemon? Most people never even see one in their lifetimes. Master Ball. Lots and lots of Master Balls. I don't try to coax or convince them to join us. Have you seen how the other cults operate? They just ask them to join. It's no wonder they never succeed. Common sense, come on. A strong Pokeball is so much more effective than messing around. Anyways, it seems to fit fine. You have the other armors we commissioned. Yes. Anastasia, hey! Orion, I see. What on earth do you two think you're doing here? How did you get in? I just walked through the door. It wasn't guarded or anything. Oh. Why are you here, though? Shouldn't you be managing your gym? I came because my friend told me to. There was... Your friend. You mean Reshiram, right? You again. Stay away from me and my pal. I don't know what you want, but you'll never put your hands on them. It really is adorable how brave kids are. I appreciate you coming, though. This saves me the trouble of finding Reshiram myself. Behold, child, the Titan of the Unova region. Zekrom, the Dragon of Ideals. Now bound in protective armor, is stronger and tougher than ever before. It's the perfect fusion of both Pokemon and machine. Zekrom joined you? Why would it choose to join forces with something like you? It didn't. I caught it. It's very easy to get a Pokemon to obey you once you've tamed it. You're a monster! Then why don't you try and stop me? How about it? A double or nothing battle between the two of us. A duel between dragons. Winner takes all. Unless, of course, you don't care about what happens to Zekrom. I do care, but you have a suit of armor. That isn't fair at all. I guess not, then. What a disappointment. I'll be on my way. No, I'll do it. Reshiram, come out. I don't know what on earth your problem is, but I'll be gosh darned if you're going to walk all over me too. Did you really just say that? Very well. Zekrom, crush this worm. So here we have the most epic fight ever. We're not doing any damage at all. Zekrom, this is getting boring. Finish it. Reshiram, no. Are you alright? To the victor go the spoils. It looks like an armored legendary Pokemon is able to take out an armorless one. That's pretty indicative of the power of these armors, if you ask me. Want to test that theory, I see. You think that you can beat the perfect combination of science and myth? Bring it on. I want payback for what happened in Heliocity. So he took notice of us. He knew we were there, and he was waiting for this. We will be fighting Tane yet again. Fortunately, his team has some pretty good weak points here. So he starts out with this grumpig. It has the thick fat ability, but has no held item. Has Psychic, Focus Blast, T-Wave, and Taunt. So he's going to be using the Zekrom, and we know he has Curum. Those are some dangerous legendaries. So I want you to take a look at what we have here. We have the Delta Ludicolo with the leftovers, and we have Magic Bounce. So remember this is actually pretty important. He's going to try to taunt us, and Magic Bounce is going to bounce the taunt back, which is actually amazing. So I can casually sit here and set up on the Grumpig which is already kind of a bad Pokemon anyways. And if it tries to taunt me, it just bounces the taunt back. So then it's even worse because it can't at least T-Wave me. So I basically just get to sit here and set up on the Delta Ludicolo, which is absolutely amazing. And it's absolutely needed, if we're being completely honest. Considering he has the Zekrom, you kind of have to set up because that thing is going to be coming out second, and it's going to do some damage. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a little bit scary. I think this might be good enough, actually. I'll go for one more. Maybe two more. Alright, that's good enough. I have 4 times. I have a fully boosted special attack here. I'm just going to go for the Surf. I should be able to knock this out, at least. And, like I said, Zekrom is coming out next. So it has Terravolt, which is basically Mold Breaker. It has the Zekrom armor. This isn't for show. That's a held item. But Zekrom armor actually boosts its defenses, like you said. This isn't some sort of lore or story point. The Zekrom armor gives him 156 base defense from 120. And it also gives him 130 base special defense from 100. So that's actually insane, and that's really, really hard to hit through, considering the Zekrom has Fusion Bolt, Draco Meteor, Outrage, and Volt Switch. It can do some damage, but I'm just going to hit Sword Power, and it's gone. So next up is Luxray. Luxray is just kind of awful. Has Guts for an ability, has the Flame Orb, has Wild Charge, Superpower, Sod, and Crunch. If it hits you, it's going to do some damage, but it probably won't. Next up is Pyroar. Has Rivalry for an ability. It has no held item. It has Fire Blast, Hyper Voice, Hidden Power, Grass, and Will-O-Wisp. So again, this is basically a sweep at this point. See, I knew Delta Ludicolo would get its time in the sun eventually. Also, this is going to be Charizard X. It has the Charizardite X, has Dragon Dance, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, and Flare Blitz. So it has Tough Claws for an ability, obviously. It's gone. And finally, here is going to be the Kyurem. This Pressure for an ability has no held item, has Substitute, Ice Beam, Dragon Claw, and Roost. It's gone too. So that is absolutely amazing. The armor seems to have a few glitches left to fix. It shows potential. It's definitely not complete yet. Orion, is it? You want Reshiram back. Visit the Dragon Ruins near Selene City. That's where I'll be. Humanity and Pokemon are two sides of the same coin. Each can do unique things that the other couldn't hope to try. We could combine the talents of both people and Pokemon. Perfection. Perfection could finally be achieved. Okay, I'm sorry, but what? What a nutcase. It's the craziest thing I've heard in my life. Selene City. Anastasia, aren't the ruins near Selene City the ones that are totally off limits? Orion, you're not seriously considering? I have to, Anastasia. I need to do it for Reshiram. It's my friend before I even knew it was a Pokemon. It supported me, even when the entire city was against me. You're dead wrong if you think I'll abandon it now. Well, today was eventful. Listen, Icy, don't judge me about the armor thing. I didn't know he was a cultist until today. I'd never even seen him before. And hey, if it helps any, I have a few prototype armor suits. They're not perfect, but they'll get the job done. Let me know if you're interested. So we now have access to Anastasia's workshop, which has some pretty interesting things. For starters, you're going to notice that there's appliances around. And basically, if you have a Rotom, which you could have at this point, you could have had one since the literal beginning of the game, you can get all the different Rotom forms now, which is pretty cool. Also, we have a move tutor right here. I've been working for Anastasia for 2 to 3 years. I don't do so well with other people. So it's nice just to bury my head in work sometimes. Let me teach you a few of the things I've learned. So he has some really good moves here. He has Iron Head, he has Magnet Rise, Iron Defense, Meteor Mash, Zap Cannon, Electro Ball, and Shift Gear. Shift Gear is amazing. It's unfortunate that Haxorus can't get it, because that would just be so amazing. It's better than Dragon Dance. Also over here we have Anastasia. She will sell us the armors. So let's go over these. So starting off we have the Tyranitar armor. It increases Tyranitar's base defense stat from 110 to 143, and the special defense from 100 to 130. So that's actually huge. That's a lot. We have the Levani armor. It sucks. It increases Levani's base defenses from 80 to 104. But when you have 2 4x weaknesses, I don't know if that's going to help you out. It does look pretty cool though. And finally we have the Flygon armor. Like Levani, it increases Flygon's base defenses from 80 to 104. So that's pretty cool. My only complaint is Flygon doesn't get Dragon Dance in this generation. It wouldn't get Dragon Dance until Generation 7, I believe. So that basically means you can't use it to set up, really, because I don't think Flygon has any other setup. But speaking of the armors and the move tutor that was in the base, there's actually something else we can do. So now that we have our 5th gym badge, if we come over here to the Pika-Taxi guy, we're going to be heading back to Heliocity. Here in Heliocity, we actually want to make our way over to the Jade Tower. There's actually something very, very interesting all the way over here. Here on the first level, there is a move tutor here now. So he has Bounce, Heat Wave, Sky Attack, Tailwind, Icy Wind, Air Cutter, and Omnis Wind. Most of these moves are kind of gimmicks. Tailwind and Heat Wave are kind of doubles moves, so you might like those. I mean, you could also just try setting up Tailwind for your team 1 by 1. That's pretty cool. And that's all I've got for Heliocity. It's time to go ahead and head it back to Kepler City. And we're going to move on with our journey at long last. So we're going to go ahead and finally leave the city. I already did show off Route 11's encounters, but I'll go ahead and put them up on the screen again. Oh, it has Shadow Tag. That's so annoying. You know what? You can take Ludicolo if you want. I don't really mind. But despite that, I have already showed off the encounters, but I'll show them off again. There's some pretty cool Pokemon in the grass. By the way, you might notice that I'm not showing off some of the water type encounters. It's because at the moment we've kind of found all the water type encounters that we possibly can. So there's nothing new that you couldn't have grabbed earlier. This is a pretty short route, honestly, especially with this dive spot. So we're going to surface back up over here. And once we surface up over here, there's a few trainers that I can hopefully avoid. just gonna surf on the water, just to be safe. And we'll find ourselves in Nazca Town after all of that. So here in Nazca Town, there should be a cutscene pretty soon. I think. Maybe I have to go up here. Yeah, it should be pretty soon. There we go. Are you alright? Don't panic. I'm only here to talk. You've become something of a legend back in the cult of Darkrai. Persephone's placed a huge bounty on your head. Now everyone's trying to find you. I'm not interested in all that. Remember when you escaped the base, when Darkrai was summoned? It was the cultist that stood within the circle. Turns out Darkrai doesn't want ritual sacrifices and evil done in its name. Most legendaries don't. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Rayquaza rescued East somehow. Persephone and Darkrai's goals are completely different. She doesn't want world domination or control. She just wants revenge. And you need to stop her from getting it. Soon she'll find a way to control it. You let her, another legendary will be enslaved. Not only that, but you and that green-haired girl have your own reason for saving it. It may have the secret to curing Audrey's son. I apologize for taking your time. Believe it or not, you and Darkrai might share a common goal. Have a nice day. So that was lovely. It's actually a really cool cutscene, and I like that it kind of pops up there. But back to what we are doing here in Nazca Town. You might notice right there that there's a dive spot. Don't worry, we're going to get to that. However, first we're going to grab this, the Mawolite. So that is one of the few regular Mega Stones that we can actually grab right here and right now. And I like that. I actually like Mega Mawile. It's a shame we won't be using it in this run, but I do like it. Over here, however, is also a small dive spot. You might not even notice it. But with this, we can actually dive deep down over here. And when we surface up over here, we'll find ourselves in a cave. That will lead us to a secret passage up over here. So if we follow this thing all the way back here and save in front of it, it's a Poniard. It's a Delta Poniard, which is actually one of the coolest Pokemon out there, I think. I actually really like Bisharp, so, or at least regular Bisharp. I mean, it's edgy. It's pretty cool. But Delta Poniard is actually a much different type. It is a flying fighting type. Given that it has the same stats as a regular Poniard or a regular Bisharp when it evolves, it's pretty decent. I think the obvious comparison to make here is this thing to Hawlucha. It is the Air Blade Pokemon, Delta species discovered by Echo III and Zero Breaker. It flies through the air and strikes at its prey. So you can go to the PC for now. I will find a use for it somehow, hopefully. But that is something that we can do here. Again, the obvious comparison to make is comparing that to Hawlucha. It doesn't have Sword Stance, if I recall correctly, which is kind of a huge blow. But it does have Mach Punch, and given that Bisharp has a massive attack stat, or a fairly good one, you can kind of just switch in and throw off huge Mach Punches. But anyways, where were we? I believe we were actually exploring the town. So, finally, here over here, We have the Moo Milk Saleswoman. So these restore 100 hit points. And you can buy them for 500 Poké Dollars. That's pretty good. Up over here, if I recall correctly, should be... Okay, it's not this house. It should be the one over here. She's a Pokemon researcher, specializing in moves and types. Specifically, she's been studying the elemental hyper beam techniques. So, if you have a starter, well, one of the regular starters, not a Delta starter, you could teach it Frenzy Plant, you could teach it Blast Burn, or you could teach it Hydro Cannon. So, that's actually kind of bad, but I mean, it's there if you want it. And aside from that, there's not much else here. There is this house right here, if I can enter it. And I want to make note of it really quickly. Hey, listen, you think you could do me a favor? I lost an item of mine in the desert of the Safari Zone, near one of the rocks. If you could find it for me, I'd be honored to give you a reward in return. So we will keep that in mind. And we're actually going to make our way into the Safari Zone now. If I can actually get my way into the door. So again, like most Safari Zones, 500 Poké Dollars and we can explore for a certain amount of steps. And it basically functions like the regular Safari Zones. I don't actually want anything here, so as usual, I'm going to be the complete weirdo that I am. And I'm going to spray Repel in the Safari Zone. How wasteful. So I'm going to put the encounters up on the screen here. There's some pretty decent encounters. Like Weavile in the grass here. That's kind of weird, but it's also kind of cool. I like it. I would also point out that Flareon can be found in the wild here. So if you evolved your Eevee and you wanted to breed one, well, you could do that now. But you could have gotten Eevee earlier as well. Up here in the next portion of the Safari Zone has some other encounters as well. Specifically, the one encounter, or two encounters that I would be interested in this area right up here would probably be the Giraffe Rig, mainly because I want to show off that evolution. But also, you can find dinos here, or Dino. I think that's how you say it. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and make my way all the way over here. So this is going to be the northeastern area. You might notice that I'm only putting the surfing encounters on the screen right now, and that's for good reason. None of these encounters, not even the surfing encounters that are on the screen right now, are unique. Pretty much every Pokemon that you could have gotten in this northeastern watery area could have been gotten earlier. Don't get me wrong, there's some actually cool encounters here. You could have found something like Kingdra, which is actually really low encounter rate. Or you could even find a Feraligatr, but you could find those before. So there's absolutely nothing new in this area, and that's just kind of disappointing. Anyways, moving on from that disappointment, this southeastern area is all ground types. So it's in this area here that that man lost his photo. So if we come over here to this rock, we can talk to the bottom right side, and we can find the old photo. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of running, and hopefully we'll get kicked out of here. So I will have to come back here and grab some Pokemon, but that's fine. We got what we came for. There's not really any hidden items of use there. All we really wanted was that photo. So I'm going to talk to him and give him back his photo. You managed to find it! That's amazing! So much. You don't know how much this means to me. My thanks. Any one of the Pokemon in my house, please take one. Be my guest. And again, thank you so much. So, you can talk to literally any of these Pokemon. I refuse to take the Charmander. You will stay here forever. But, you know, you could take the Squirtle, Or you could even take the Bulbasaur over here. You could have actually found most of these in the wild by now, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's a little bit convenient, if you will. And with that, we've actually done quite a bit. We defeated Taen in Anastasia's workshop, and we made our way here to Nazca Town, where we explored it, we went to the Safari Zone, and we got the Delta Poniard. So I'm sorry, again, this is probably really short, but I am a little bit sick here, so we're going to be ending this now. Thank you all so much for watching, hope you enjoyed, hope it helped, and I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.